Hello, I'm going to give the meanings of harmonics 17 to 24. This is part 3 in a 4-part series on meanings of the harmonics. In part 1, I mentioned that there's a free online book, and Harmonics 17 starts on page 83 of the book if you want to refer to some sample charts. So in these videos, I'm just giving the meanings. In the future, I'm going to make separate videos on each harmonic, and then I'll give sample charts and we'll go into more detail. But right now, I just want to give you the basic idea of what the harmonics mean. 17th harmonic. What does it mean? Empathy. It's interest in the story of others. So with the 17th harmonic, the person wants to step outside the context of their lives. They want to appreciate the stories of others, of other people who live in different circumstances and often a different culture. So imagine this, there's a harmonic for stories. So stories are so vital to the human experience. The stories allow us to imagine we live in a different time or a different place, a different setting. Many people are fascinated by these stories. So regardless of where you grow up or what your culture is, it is something specific. We are in one body. You live in China or you're Japan or Brazil or wherever it may be. You grow up there with certain traditions and habits and orientation, and we become interested in the stories beyond our personal experience. And it's the 17th harmonic that does that. It draws us out of our personal experience to just want to experience, to feel. It gives empathy. It gives this bonding to something beyond what you experienced in your own life. So the 17th harmonic incorporates insights, perspectives, beliefs, customs, habits, and different viewpoints wherever they can be found without prejudice and without lots of a priori assumptions, because the person wants to experience this new point of view. It's especially inclined towards acting in theater. So you'll see actors very often have very strong 17th harmonic aspects. Why? Because they are entering the lives of other people. It also shows up in the arts, literature, of course, stories, cultural experiences of all kinds. The 17th harmonic is a kind of non-linear way of thinking that incorporates different views and approaches. It's an interest in the way people understand, experience, interpret, and find meaning in their lives. So that's what the 17th harmonic does. When suppose it involves planets like Neptune, Moon, then you get the intuition, the sensitivity, the connecting. If you get Uranus and Neptune involved in 17th harmonic, it can be psychic. Moon and Mercury in 17th harmonic, fantastic counselors. Okay, so it's going to depend on the planets exactly how it expresses itself. 18th harmonic. Okay, 18 equals 9 times 2, so it's very simple. It's 9 with others. So it's a very strong need to connect with others in the community and the extended family. A person who builds community and brings positive communication between people. So in the previous video, that would be part 2 of this 4-part series, I discussed the meaning of 9th harmonic. If you're not familiar with it, you can go back and watch that video. But here, 9 times 2 emphasizes with people. Well, 9th harmonic already is about bonding with the community. So when you get the 18th harmonic, the need, the desire, the drive to build community is huge. And the need to feel included. The person wants to feel a part of their community. Gives great compassion for those who are alienated or disenfranchised and do not have the benefits that most people enjoy. So you'll see people with the 18th harmonic usually are involved in some kind of community service, bringing people together, and as I said here, often bringing those who are disenfranchised into the system, into the community, into the families. So it's a need to bring about peace and understanding. Okay. 19th harmonic. 19th harmonic has some similarities to the 17th harmonic. The 17th and 19th harmonic are interested in other points of view. The 19th harmonic is, you might say, more mercurial. It's more about understanding points of view, about taking another point of view to see what benefits there are. So it's a more intellectual approach rather than an empathic approach to other points of view. So with the 19th harmonic, the person's open, receptive, and interested in the insights of artists, writers, philosophers, and scientists of all kinds. It's inclined to abstract thinking and a love of literature. So the 17th harmonic is more inclined to acting, theater, and entertainment, is more Venusian, wants to experience the stories. The 19th harmonic is a bit more strictly mercurial, but the harmonics are similar. So with the 19th harmonic, person is often involved in choreographing, designing, writing, investigating, exploring, experimenting with different points of view. So 19th harmonic, like the 17th harmonic, steps outside the framework in which they were born and wants to see what new thing you can see, what new perspective will show up, how things look from another point of view. That's the 19th harmonic. 20th harmonic. Well, 20 is 5 times 4. So we get 5 play and 4 the need for action. So what happens with the 20th harmonic is that creativity is important. The person is a supporter of the arts. The person needs to create things and to work in a creative way. So in the 20th harmonic, play is not just a game. Play is not just fun. Play is something important. It's vital. It's something that the person with a lot of 20th harmonic aspects feels like they need to have a creative life and bring creativity to everyone. They fear that people will become bored, will become mechanical. They want to bring life. They want to bring experimentation. They want to bring that joy of exploring, the childlike wonder. They want it to come out, to breathe, to expand, and to fill people's lives. So the person is on a kind of a mission. They're taking action for the 5th harmonic. So the need to achieve and accomplish puts an emphasis on doing and accomplishing, and is likely to manifest as accomplishing something that is entertaining and fascinating in some way. So they're doing something creative. Okay. 21st harmonic, 7 times 3. So with the 21st harmonic, we have good focus and the ability to develop excellent technique. People with 21st harmonic are gifted. They have a natural flow, a facility. They can engage in a sport, a practice, and they tend to have this ability to get right into the flow very, very easily without as much difficulty as other people. It's a disciplined or classical style that is not rigid or inflexible, but rather has a classy quality and elegance. So the 21st harmonic gives this ability to flow, to express oneself in a controlled but elegant and fluid way. We see it in all kinds of areas, but a good image for 21st harmonic would be a skater, an ice skater. That grace, that flow, that smoothness, that elegance, that's an archetypal image of 21st harmonic. So that it loves technique and precision that's not choppy, that's not rigid, but can be graceful. Gracefulness, elegance, qualities of the 21st harmonic. 7 times 3. 22. Well, it's 11 times 2, restless and impatient, and tending to feel stifled by others. 22 is a difficult harmonic. A person wants freedom. They're very sensitive to being controlled, very sensitive to feeling stifled. They want a free-flowing relationship with other people. So they seek freedom, they seek adventure. So they want adventure in their relationships. They want to be with people that inspire them to move to new levels, to be creative, to have fun, not to be controlling each other. 23rd harmonic. 23 is a prime number. It has its own quality. 23 takes risks. It wants to try something new. It follows its own personal intuition. So the 23rd harmonic will look at a situation and always say to itself, what would happen if I do this? Has anybody ever tried to do this in a different way? So they rely on their own perceptions. They will step outside the beliefs of other people and the accepted norms, and they will take risks that others would avoid. They're prone to social blunders because they're trying out something new. They're relying on their intuition. Obviously, if you just experiment, you're leaving the tried and true things that people do. A lot of times it's not going to work that well, but at least they find out, at least they explore, and every once in a while they will hit upon something that very few or maybe nobody else has tried. So it leads to unusual interests, unusual ways of doing things, idiosyncratic or an unusual approach based on their own unique synthesis of different methods or ideas. So often they're thoughtful about this. They don't just go off on some tangent. They will explore. They gamble. They like to gamble. They'll explore systems. They'll explore alternative ways of doing things. And eventually they'll hit upon some things that work. So it's taking risks, stepping outside the box and seeing what will happen by trying something new, exploring a different way. The most important thing for the 23rd harmonic is to try these things out, but not to, as they say, bet the farm on it. They should try it out, experiment, but not risk, the foundations of their life. And usually they're pretty good about that. It tends to be more intellectual, more of a strategy. They tend to live their lives fairly reasonably and stable. It's more on a professional level. They tend to experiment and gamble. So it's not that risky. It tends to be, again, more in like an intellectual kind of areas, strategies. They want to try out different things. Okay, and 24th harmonic, very important assets to the person. It's very similar to the 12th harmonic, deeply ingrained traits, something that is so natural to the person and they want to express it and share it with others. And the 24th harmonic, more than most other harmonics, depends on the numerator. The 5/24ths is more creative. The 11/24ths aspect is more unstable and dynamic. The 7/24ths is a bit more introverted. So overall, the 24th harmonic aspects indicate resources available to the person. There are things they want to do. There are things that they're good at. They don't need to do it. It's not as much pressure as the hard aspects like 8, 16, and 32, but they utilize it. It's things that they can utilize within the context of their professions or their pursuits and achieving their goals. The 11/24ths does make more pressing demands than the 5/24ths and the 7/24ths, and acts a little bit more like a hard aspect in that way. It pushes the person to experiment and move outside the box. 7/24ths is something that the person has an ability to focus on, and 5/24ths bring in a little creativity. So they're assets that the person brings in to what they do. You can think of them as hard aspects that are not quite as hard, not quite as driving. The person can be more patient with it, work with it over time, and they work it into their lives over time, whereas the hard aspects like 8, 16, 32, they need to be done now. They can't put it off forever. 24th harmonic is an asset. They utilize it over time, and they can be more patient in working it into their lives. Okay, my friends, that's it. That's the end of part 3. In part 4, we'll do harmonics 25 to 32. Thank you very much for listening. God bless. Namaste.